Guys, please confirm to me. All of you are getting my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you are getting my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you are getting my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. All right. All right. Good morning, guys. All right, sir. And check it what we completed is in the last session. I think we are discussing about inheritance topic, especially the fifth difference between Java and others. Okay. Right, sir. Why people are very less in today's session? Any reason? Because of festival, right? Right. I think on Wednesday that Vinayaka Chaturthi, right? Wednesday. So what we will do? What is the status of that Wednesday? Really? Are you doing any puja? Really? Are you doing anything like that? Okay. No problem. In the starting mode, I will not give any burden to you. Then you can enjoy your festival, but you can expect the class in the next upcoming Sunday. Getting what I'm telling to you. So on Wednesday, maybe I'll give holiday. Okay. Wednesday, I will give holiday. And one more thing, if I complete introduction part, now we are in the differences between Java and others now. If I complete this introduction part, I'll conduct one exam. Written test exam I will conduct on that, up to that. When I complete third unit language fundamentals, then I will take mock interview for everybody. Then I will give schedules also for that mock interview for everybody. So you have to appear for these exams and mock interviews effectively. That is because of your career purpose only, not for the sake of time pass. Okay. Then even people are missing these classes there. People are missing these classes, but don't miss that classes. And again, I'm telling there, I'm giving video support is for the sake of your backup. Backup in the sense, first you have to come for the classes. If you are missing any point inside the class, then you can open that video and then we can watch that video. But don't depending on videos completely. Videos option is a backup, not for your permanent, not for your primary. Primary thing is you have to attend for the class. Guys, understand what I'm telling to you now. So everybody has to come for the classes. Now here I'm giving this video support as a backup purpose only. Just if you have any confusion in any topic, then later on you can watch that video, you can clear your confusion. That's a permanent solution I'm providing there. I think so people are having this type of mindset. Sir is giving videos now, so I want to watch that videos without attending the classes. It's a waste of time. Better to stop these classes. Better. I will not go for such type of thinking. Understand it what I'm telling you. First priority, you should come for the classes. I think so even some of you are not coming to the class there. Some of you are not attending this session. No, at least you may listen my words through this video, recording video. At least if you watch that video, there you can understand it. If you're not coming to the classes, even I will stop this video support also. If you're coming to the classes, then all I will continue that video support. Our primary thing is you have to attend for the classes live. There is a huge difference between watching video and attending live class. In a live class, good interaction is going on. I can see your faces and I can see your movements so that I can understand whether you are following or not. So that I may repeat one more time or I may go for the next topic. I will decide that by if you are attending physically. At least in online classes, if you attend there, then I can identify that. But if you're not coming to the sessions, only you want to attend for, you want to watch that videos in the sense, definitely I'm telling there, maybe 1 week or 2 weeks out time, you may watch that video with the patience. Once after 2 weeks of time, you will not have patience. Then you may throw outside that videos. You may not watch that videos continuously. I'm sure about it. But if you're coming to the classes, you will come to the classes regularly. You can understand our content regularly. So classes are first primary, videos are secondary. Don't make videos as a primary. class as a secondary. No, I will not allow that. Clear cut information. Okay, right, guys. Anyway, it is very confirmed that on Wednesday I will give holiday, but compensation I will take one class extra, definitely. Either on weekends or maybe at some other time I'll conduct the class. Extra one class I will take, damn sure. Okay, fine. Well, let's come for this content here. Then what we are discussing there, if any of you are new member today, don't worry, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 classes might be completed there, then you can watch that video. Already videos of support is available. Watch that video if any of you are new member today, but try to understand what I'm trying to say now. Okay, even if you're not understanding today's class, no, don't mind for it. Watch that video one time, then we can maybe by tomorrow we can come to the class. Otherwise, even if you're not having any videos list, don't worry, let me complete this topic. I'll start a fresh topic. From that point onwards we are going to understand, but max you can understand this topic here. You can understand nothing is there inside this topic, you can understand easily, but try to follow this. Right, sir. Now we are discussing about the differences between Java and other programming languages like C and C++, where nearly 4 differences we completed. Can you tell me what are the 4 differences that we completed already? First difference is what? What is the first difference here? C and C++ are static programming languages, but Java is what? A dynamic programming language. Second one, preprocessor is required in C and C++, but preprocessor is not required in Java. Next one, third point, C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages, but Java is what? Platform independent programming language. Then after that, after completion of this, and fourth point is what? Pointers are existed in C and C++, but pointers are not existed in Java. If you are the fresher, definitely interviewer will ask questions on these topics. Direct question, tell me why we need to go for Java over C and C++. Already we had C and C++. There was a requirement to come for Java. There we have to give all these answers. But minimum we have to talk 1 hour about these differences now. As I given the total explanation for each and every difference. Don't take it as light. They're important. Then you should answer for all these questions. Right, sir. Let's come for this topic here. Multiple inheritance is not existed in Java. It may be available in Python or it may be available in C++. Okay, not to understand anything about C++. How multiple inheritance is achieved in C++, how multiple inheritance is achieved in Python, not required. Only the point I'm trying to say, in Java, multiple inheritance is not available. Why multiple inheritance is not available inside the Java? I'll explain that to you clearly. Right, sir. First of all, what is an object-oriented programming language? What exactly the meaning of object-oriented programming language? Now tell me. If any programming language allows its applications to represent data in the form of objects by following object-oriented principles or features, then that programming language is an object-oriented programming language. Got it or not? This is the meaning of like what now? Object-oriented programming language. Next one is object-oriented principles we are using. Data has to be followed these object-oriented principles. Now tell me, how many number of object-oriented principles are existed overall? Overall, 7 number of object-oriented principles are existed. What are the 7 number of object-oriented principles actually? You can understand. Right, sir. It shows clearly in our class, girls are dominated. Boys are not yet open their mouth. Okay, nice. All right, sir. Now, class, object, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, and message passing. Nice. Out of these 7 number of object-oriented features, no, 4 features are the most powerful object-oriented features. 4 features are the most powerful object-oriented features. What are these 4 features? The most powerful object-oriented features, no? Encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. These 4 features are like what, no? The most powerful object-oriented features. Nice. Next one is we started with inheritance. Why I started with inheritance? Actually, we need to understand multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. But before understanding why it is not possible in Java, first we have to understand what is multiple inheritance. What exactly the meaning of multiple inheritance? Before this multiple inheritance, do you have any other inheritances? That is single inheritance. What is single inheritance? Before that single inheritance, what is inheritance basically? All these points here we have to answer. So for that I am giving clarity there. Now first understand this clearly. Inheritance. What exactly the meaning of inheritance? What is the meaning of inheritance? No, tell me. It is a relation between classes. In object oriented programming, every program we are going to write in the form of classes only. Everything we have to represent in the form of like what? No, classes only. Inside the classes we are going to declare variables and methods that we already understood. Now inheritance is a relation between classes. Inheritance is a relation between classes. It will bring variables and methods from one class to another class in order to improve reusability. In order to improve what? Reusability, code reusability. So again, come again. What is the definition here I given there? Inheritance is a relation between classes. It will bring variables and methods from one class to another class in order to improve what? Code reusability. Here, the class which is providing variables and methods to some other class is called as superclass. The class which is providing variables and methods to some other class, that class is called as what? Superclass. The class which is getting variables and methods from some other class, the class which is getting variables and methods from some other class, that class is called as what? No, subclass. Superclass and a subclass. Clear cut information. If we declare variables and methods in superclass, that we can reuse in any number of subclasses. How we are able to achieve this reusability? Declare variables and methods one time in superclass that we can reuse any number of times in subclasses. Okay, fine. That is one point here. Next one is how many types of inheritances are available actually? Initially, two types of inheritances are existed initially. What are the two types of inheritances initially? Single inheritance and multiple inheritance. Single inheritance and multiple inheritance. Later on the basis of the single and multiple inheritances, three more inheritances are defined. What are the three more inheritances? No, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, hybrid inheritance. Multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. Not required to discuss about these topics now immediately. Why? Because our concept is up to like what there? Multiple inheritance. So single inheritance and multiple inheritance we have to understand. Remaining types of inheritances are not mandatory immediately. In object orientation, officially we are able to get inheritance topic once again. There, I'm going to discuss about like what there? All the types of inheritances. But as of now, single and multiple inheritances are required for us. Up to that only, I'm going to discuss our inheritance topic as of now. Right, sir. Then immediately I given a definition for inheritance, single inheritance. So what is a single inheritance actually? It is a relation between classes. It will bring variables and methods from only one superclass to any number of subclasses. It is a relation between classes. It will bring variables and methods from only one superclass to one or more number of subclasses. Only one superclass to one or more number of subclasses. Then it is called as like what there? Single inheritance. I think so. I given one diagram also for this. Right, sir. Single inheritance diagram I have given. Observe carefully inside this diagram. In the last class I given this diagram. A is a superclass. B is a child class. Extends keyword is representing inheritance. Upwards arrow is representing inheritance. Arrow header part is always pointing superclass. Arrow tail part is always representing what? Subclass. This is a diagrammatic representation of inheritance. Come again. What is the point I said? Arrow, upwards arrow is representing inheritance. To represent that programmatically, we have to use a keyword extends. Class B extends A. Class B extends A. That means B is extending from A. That's the point here we have to understand. Arrow header part is always pointing what? Superclass. Arrow tailor part is always representing what? Subclass. If we declare variables and methods in superclass, that we can reuse inside the child classes, inside the subclass. I variable and M1 method we defined in superclass. The same I variable and M1 method we accessed inside the child class. Following or not? No response, guys. Right, now this is like what I'm telling here, diagrammatic representation of single inheritance. Now here, how many superclasses I have written? Now tell me. Only one superclass I have written. Multiple subclasses you can take. But in this example, I have taken only one subclass. It's not like that. We can take any number of subclasses here, but so number of superclasses must be only one superclass here we have to provide. That's okay, fine. Now observe carefully. This is like what I'm telling to you. Single inheritance. It is possible in Java. Single inheritance is possible in Java. Right. Then immediately I give in definition for multiple inheritance. I give in definition for multiple inheritance. Then what is this multiple inheritance actually? It is a relation between classes. It will bring variables and methods from from what? More than one superclass. From more than one superclass to one or more number of subclasses. Here also be number of superclasses is the condition. In single inheritance maybe, in multiple inheritance maybe, number of superclasses is a condition. In the case of single inheritance, the number of superclasses should be only one superclass. In the case of multiple inheritance, number of superclasses may be more than one superclass. Must be more than one superclass, not exactly one superclass. That is multiple inheritance. Right, sir. We don't have any condition on number of subclasses. We don't have any condition on number of subclasses. Then after that, I given one word. Java does not support multiple inheritance. Java doesn't support multiple inheritance, but single inheritance is supported by Java or not? Single inheritance is supported by Java or not? Java does support single inheritance. Right, so this is a point here we can understand. Now observe carefully. What is multiple inheritance and why it is not supported in Java? I'll give clarity. Try to understand in diagrammatic manner. Next 10 minutes of time. Important topic. Now everybody must put more concentration here. First of all, I want to show the normal case of the multiple inheritance. With that, we will not get any problem. After that, I will show second time multiple inheritance. There I will show a problem and there I will give the information to you. Because of this problem, multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Let me show normal case first of all. Multiple inheritance. I want to show this particular case. Now this is a class A. This is a class B. Now this is a class C. Class A, and this is like what there, class B. Now this is class C. Right, so now this is inheritance representation. Here I can say extends. Class C extends A and B. Class C extends A and B. Right, sir. Now observe carefully. Guys, now tell me what I declared in a class A superclass. First of all, tell me which class are acting as superclass and which class is acting as subclass here. Class A and B are what? Superclasses, and class C is what? Subclass. Now tell me, you only tell me. In a class A superclass, what I declared there, one variable, one method I defined. Declared and defined, no problem. One variable, one method I declared and I defined. Okay, fine. Similarly, in a class B superclass, into j is equal to 20 and void m2 method. Now tell me, in a class B superclass, what I declared there, one variable, one method I declared, j variable and m2 method I declared. Now tell me here, for A and B, what is a subclass now? For class A and class B, what is a subclass? Class C. Class C is acting as a child class to A and B. Yes, sir. What is the difficulty with that? Class C is acting as a subclass to the class A and a class B. Am I right or not? Nice. Next one is, as class C is a child class to both A and B, parents A and B. So class C is able to use, is able to utilize all members of superclasses A and B or not? it able to reuse all members of A and B or not? Because of that reason, I is equal to I plus 10 again, J is equal to J plus 10 again. I variable is coming from class A superclass. J variable is coming from class B superclass. So here we don't have any problem. We can access like this. We can use this. Now here, for example, M1 method call, M2 method call. You can observe this clearly. M1 method is coming from superclass K. M2 method is coming from superclass B. Finally, we got our output. Our required output here we are getting. Finally, our required output here we are getting. Effectively, we are getting our required output. Right. Here we don't have any problem up to this. Leave it. Even though no problem is existed with this, but still Java doesn't allow this particular approach. Even though we are not having any confusion with this particular topic, but still Java does not allow multiple inheritance as part of its programming. Why Java is totally against for multiple inheritance? Why Java is totally against to the multiple inheritance? I want to know that. For that, I'll give one more situation. Try to understand the situation, guys. Actually, in the second case, we are not having any problem. Concept is very much fair. We don't have any problem with that. But with the third approach, with the third diagram, you will get problem with multiple inheritance. Because of that single problem, the total multiple inheritance totally was removed from Java. Then what is that problem here? Try to understand this now. As usual, I want to take same class A. Now this is class B. Now this is a class C. Here what we have to do there, one line space here, that means inheritance relationship here I'm trying to provide. Here upwards arrow here we provide it. Here also we are providing upwards arrow. All right, sir. Here what we have to do there, observe carefully. Now here we have to provide class A. Inside this, then what we have to do there, class B. Now here class C. Inside this, here we have to specify like what there, extends keyword. Now observe carefully. Now inside this class A, I have used int I is equal to 10. Inside this class K, what I have used there, int I is equal to 10. Okay. And then after that, what we are using there, void M1 method. Inside this M1 method, we want to use some X implementation. Its method basically, inside this method, the functionality is what? X functionality here we have used. Sir, all of you are getting it or not? Which functionality here we are using there? X functionality. Nice. Next one is after that, int previous diagram, if you observe there in class B, int j is equal to 20 we have used. That is different variable from I variable. But now in class B superclass also I want to use int I is equal to 20. In class B superclass also I want to use int I is equal to 20. Observe carefully. Now in a class B superclass also I'm going to use M1 method, void M1 method. Inside this void M1 method, here we are able to provide like what there, Y implementation. Inside this class B superclass, what we provided there, Y implementation. All right. Observe carefully. Just compare the Sanger diagram with third diagram now. In third diagram, what changes I made? In class B, in class A and class B, I maintained the same variables with the different values, same method with the different implementations. I provided that. Now, class C is a child class for class A and class B. Class C is a child class for class A and class B. So it has the rights to access all members of A and B. It able to reuse all members of A and B. Get my point or not? So I is equal to I plus 10 semicolon. I is equal to I plus 10 semicolon. Then after that we are calling M1 method. We are calling M1 method. Observe second diagram one time. In the second diagram inside this class C, inside the class C, when I provide I is equal to I plus 10, now we are getting I variable value from class A superclass. Why? Because I variable is available in only class A, not available in class B. When I access J is equal to J plus 1, J variable will come, J variable value will come from B superclass. No J variable is available inside this class K. So no confusion. Only from class B we are able to get that J value. So equation is very clear. Easily we can identify in which superclass I variable and J variables are available. That I variable and J variables we are getting directly. Observe carefully. But in the case of third diagram, when I access I is equal to I plus 10, when I access I is equal to I plus 10, then JVM will search for I variable in the superclasses. Unfortunately, I variable is existed in both the superclasses. Not even a single superclass. In both the superclasses, I variable is existed. Now here the question is, from which superclass I value has to be taken? From which superclass I variable value has to be taken? If you think I variable value is coming from, if you think I variable value is coming from class A superclass, if you think I variable value is coming from class A superclass, in class A superclass, what is I value? 10 now. I is equal to I plus 10. I is equal to 10 plus 10. 20. Is it 20? If you think I variable value is coming from class B superclass, if you think I variable value is coming from class B superclass, in a class B, I value is 20. I is equal to I plus 10. I is equal to 20 plus 10. Then it's 30. Is it 30? What is the result of this I variable? Is that 20 or 30? If you think I value is coming from class A superclass, 10 value will come. I is equal to I plus 10. I is equal to 10 plus 10. 20. Is it 20? If you think I value is coming from class B superclass, where I value is 20, I is equal to I plus 10. I is equal to 20 plus 10. 20 plus 10, 30. Is it 30? Say for example, if we access M1 method, and if we think M1 method is existent in both the superclasses now, from which superclass M1 method is coming is a bit confusion for me. Now, if you think M1 method is coming from class A superclass, is it X implementation? Is it X implementation? And think about it. Y values, if you think M1 method is coming from class B superclass, M1 method is coming from class B superclass. Observe carefully. M1 method is coming from class B superclass. So, is that Y implementation? Is that Y implementation? What is this actually? What is this actually? From which superclass that M1 method is coming? If we think M1 method is coming from class A superclass, X implementation. If we think M1 method is coming from class B superclass, Y implementation, then which one is better? All right, sir. Now it is a confusion state or not? It is a confusion state or not? Definitely, it is a confusion state where we are unable to decide. We can't decide from which superclass I value and M1 method is coming. We are unable to decide that. It's an ambiguity situation for us. It's a confusion situation for us. Not only for us, it's a confusion for compiler and JVM. It's a big confusion for compiler and JVM. So by this we can conclude, C and C++, sorry, by this we can conclude multiple inheritance is a bit confusion oriented feature or not? Multiple inheritance is a bit confusion oriented feature. Observe carefully. So because of this reason, Java is not allowing all the confusion oriented features. Java is a simple programming language. It should not allow all the confusion oriented features. By this we can conclude Java doesn't have multiple inheritance. Java is not allowing multiple inheritance because of such a confusion oriented feature. Guys, all of you are getting my point or not? Just 1 minute. Right, sir. So finally, what we understood the content here? What we understand the content now? Multiple redundancies exist or not existed in Java? Multiple redundancies exist or not existed? Not existed. Because of what reason there? Because of what reasons there? Because of multiple inheritance giving confusion to the compiler and to the JVM. Multiple inheritance is a confusion oriented feature in Java. So Java doesn't provide any solution for this confusion. In other programming languages, we have solution. In other programming languages, we have solution. What was the solution is available there? That solution would be, if you take Python, for example, or else maybe if you take C++, there is a concept like virtual functions. Through that virtual functions, they are able to resolve that multiple redundancy conflict. That's okay. But in the case of Python, how it was decided, how it was eliminated, how the situation was resolved in the case of Python. I'll give an example. Now tell me, class C has two superclasses. Am I right or not? Come on, guys. Class C has two superclasses. Okay, fine. When class C has two superclasses, tell me what is the first superclass and what is second superclass? No. For class C, what is the first superclass? Class A. What is the second superclass? Class B. Class B is the second superclass and class A is the first superclass. In the case of Python, what is the solution? In the case of Python, what is the solution? No. First, PVM. In Python, PVM. PVM in the sense what? No. Python virtual machine, not JVM. What PVM will do? Whenever we are accessing, when we are accessing I is equal to I plus 10, first PVM will search for I variable in the first superclass. If it is available, directly it will use that I variable value from the first superclass and it will terminate the searching process for I variable. Once the value is identified, then it will not go for more other searches now. It will not go for searching operation again. It will search for I variable in the first superclass. Available, that value will be utilized. In the case, if I variable is not available in the first superclass now, then PVM will search for I variable in the second superclass. In the order we are providing there, what will be the order here we are providing there? No. For example, you can understand this point clearly. What should be the order here we are providing there? Say for example, class C, if you write like what extends A comma B, if you write like this, no. Inside this, if we use I is equal to I plus 10, for example, if we use like this, no. Now tell me, in the order, first PVM will search for I variable in the local class, current class, that is C. If it is not available, then PVM will search for I variable in the first superclass. What is this first superclass? No, A. In A, if I variable value is available, directly it will use that. In the case, if I variable is not available in A superclass, no, then PVM will go to the class B, next superclass, where it will search for I variable. If it is available there, then we are able to use it. Still I variable is not available. Still I variable is not available. Then simply PVM will give an error. I searched for I variable at my level best, but I didn't identify that I variable. It able to raise some error. Okay, for example, in the case, the same scenario, in the case of what I am telling there, if we use the same scenario in the case of Python, if we use, this is class C, extends, for example, if we provide like what there, B comma A, not A comma B, if we provide B comma A, for example, if it is a case, then what we are able to get there in this scenario, first, whenever we are using I is equal to I plus 10, first PVM will search for I variable in the current class, that is C. If it is not available there, then PVM will search for I variable in the first superclass. What is the first superclass in the order? B superclass. In the order, what is the first superclass? No, B superclass. Inside this B superclass, no, if I variable is available, then that value will be taken. If I variable is not available inside this B superclass, first superclass, then it will go to the second next superclass to search for I variable. What is that next superclass? A, in this order. So inside this A, if that I variable value is available, then it will use it. Still, if it is not available, then it will raise an error. So this is a story in the case of which programming language? Python, not in Java. In Python, this is a solution. Python people have thought of it. This is the right solution for it. Then they have implemented this type of solution. But Java people have thought that anyway it is a confusion-oriented feature. Maybe at this level, if I provide some solution for it, in the future maybe you may get some more solution, more problems there. So they thought of it that multiple inheritance is anyway it's a problematic issue. So we don't want to allow this multiple inheritance in our Java applications. And simply Java people have omitted, Java people have rejected or removed the total multiple inheritance from Java applications. Guys, all of you are getting my point or not? Just why I'm talking about Python or Java in this context, no? You can understand Java is an independent programming language. Python is another independent programming language. Python people thought is different. Java people thought is different. As per Sun Microsystems thought, they thought that multiple inheritance is not simple topic. It's a somewhat confusion-oriented feature. Totally, that multiple inheritance was removed from Java. Python people thought of it. Multiple inheritance is giving confusion. It's okay, but there is a solution to resolve that confusion. Some algorithm we are implementing to resolve this confusion. That's why they implemented some algorithm to resolve this multiple inheritance related content. Observe carefully. So in this particular scenario, in this particular point, Python is having some solution. Java doesn't have solution there. Even because of the solution, we can't decide Python is a great and Java is not great. No, don't have such kind of discussions. Again and again, I'm telling to you guys, please remember this. Java and Python, if we compare and if we say who is the best, who is a great programming language between Java and Python, if you think like that, we can't say answer for this. We are unable to compare these two. Why I'm telling why we are unable to compare these two? No, both the programming languages region is different. Both their regions are different. Java is for enterprise application development. Python is not for enterprise application development. Python is for data analysis. Python is for what their data analysis. Java is for what their enterprise application development. Say for example, a bank is available. For that bank, I want to prepare an application. I want to provide implementation for the bank application where Java is good. Your Python will not work out. For example, a bulk of data is available. Records of data is available. GBs and GBs of data is available. There I want to process my data and I want to take some decision making processing I want to do, where some scientific calculations we required, not a normal enterprise application development. Some scientific algorithms we have to implement, scientific calculations we have to do. There we have to go for like what? No, Python is suitable for that. For data analysis purpose, Python is suitable, and for enterprise application development, Java is suitable. Guys, all of you are following my points or not? I don't know what is the reason why today almost 70% of the class people are sleeping. I think so it's because of outside environment, I thought. Or maybe yesterday's cricket problem, cricket effect. Up to 12 o'clock, that match was there, no? 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. I think so. 11 o'clock, it was completed, right? Match was gone, might be 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock is a regular time only. When compared with your daily work. When compared with your daily WhatsApp chatting, up to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you are doing, right? Regularly. So might be then that cricket match 11 o'clock is a very somewhat earlier mode only, right? But why you are still sleeping inside the classes now? Are you expecting any coffee or tea from Durgasoft? Really now tell me. Then if you say okay, then I'll provide that. A coffee or tea are you expecting from Durgasoft today? No? No response. Then if you are expecting your core Java fee will be 15,000. Huh? Every day, one coffee, one tea we will provide. Otherwise, we will go for one commitment, guys. If you are sleeping in my class, no, 1,000 rupees fine. Not like 100 rupees or 50 rupees, 1,000 rupees fine. I will take photo of you, proof. Otherwise, I will do one thing, not 1,000 rupees fine, no. If you are sleeping in my class there, I had very good tab, no. It's a pixel is also very good. I will take photo of you. I will keep in Facebook live, YouTube live and Facebook live. So this is my today's class. No, my people are sleeping. Please watch this one and give rating for this sleeping. No, like this I will put one post. Shall I do that? Right. Don't sleep in the classroom. No, then important topic I'm discussing there. Somewhat important. So interviewer may ask this question directly. If you miss this topic, you may lose your job. Some questions are available in Java. They are life-turning questions, life-changing questions now. So by the time we should not sleep or you should not neglect. By the time in whatever the state of you, whatever the state you are having at that moment, but you should put complete concentration on that particular topic. Otherwise, you will not understand the topic. Of course, even if you miss this topic, next topic you can understand, that I can ensure. But this topic is also important now. The next topic is a next attempt. But at present, this topic is important. But you are not putting concentration on. Okay. Anyway, finally, what I am telling that don't sleep inside the class. Please put concentration on this particular topic. Finally, I'm asking one question to all of you guys. Now tell me, why multiple inheritance is not allowed in Java? Why multiple inheritance is not allowed in Java? If it is a question, then what will be the answer for this question there? What will be the answer for this question there? Now tell me why. Because multiple inheritance is a bit confusion oriented feature. Whereas Java is a simple programming language, Java does not allow all the confusion oriented features. Previous examples are pointers. Pointers is also a bit confusion oriented feature. Java does not allow that pointers topic. Similarly, multiple inheritance is also a confusion oriented feature. So Java does not allow this confusion oriented features like what they're multiple inheritance. Why? What confusion is provided inside the Java? What exactly the confusion is provided inside the Java with multiple inheritance? If you observe this particular point, here the answer is like what I'm telling to you. Answer is, if you declare same variable and same method in more than one superclass, if you declare same variable and same method in more than one superclass, and if you access that variable and that method in the respective subclass, if you access that variable and that method in the respective subclass, then from which superclass that variable and that method has to come? From which superclass that variable and that method has to come? When we access that variable and that method in the respective subclass, this is a confusion. This is a confusion. Because of this confusion only, compiler and JVM both are not allowed this multiple inheritance inside the Java. Simply speaking, Java does not support multiple inheritance because of this confusion oriented feature. Okay, up to this point, okay, we understood clearly. But how, sir, how we are able to avoid this multiple inheritance in Java? How we are able to avoid this multiple inheritance inside the Java? How can we avoid? That means, how can we restrict this multiple inheritance inside the Java? What setup that Java people have given inside the Java programming to restrict multiple inheritance? What exactly the setup that Java people have given inside the Java not to allow multiple inheritance? Right. If we think about this particular point, carry on. Today coffee free, tea. తీసుకెళ్ళిపో. Right, right. Let's consider this topic here. తీసుకెళ్ళిపో. Right, why this multiple inheritance is not possible in Java? If you observe this particular point, answer is very clear. Try to consider here. Don't consider on T no. Try to consider here. Fine. Now try to observe this clearly. How it is not allowed in Java? Observe carefully. We are able to write like what there. Class C extends A comma B. We are writing. Am I right or not? Class C extends A comma B. We are writing or not? Observe carefully. This extends keyword is available inside the Java only. This extends keyword is not available in Python and other programming languages. In Python, parenthesis is available for representing inheritance. Parenthesis. Understand my point here? But here, extends keyword is existed inside like what they know inside Java. What is this extends keyword actually? That extends keyword was defined by Java in such a way to take only single superclass, not to take more than one superclass. Extends keyword was defined in such a way to take single superclass, not to take more than one superclass. That's the problem here. That's the point here. So because of this reason, in this way, by thinking like this, by having that extends keyword functionality like this, Java has implemented not to allow multiple inheritance in Java applications by defining extends keyword. By defining what their extends keyword. Yes, sir. All of you are getting my point or not? So how Java has restricted multiple inheritance? No, Java has defined extends keyword in such a way to allow only one superclass name in the class index, not to allow more than one superclass name. Right? Class C extends A. Up to that it's valid. When comma is provided, whenever comma is provided after one superclass, compiler will raise an error. All of you get my point or not? How extends keyword was prepared there? Java has defined extends keyword about to allow only one superclass name, not to allow more than one superclass name. Means that after one superclass, if you put comma, not even second superclass, just if you put comma, that's sufficient. Compiler will identify developer is trying to keep more than one superclass now. Immediately compiler will raise an error. Yes, all of you get my point or not? So this is a way. In this way, we can understand multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Right. I think so. You understood clearly this point here. Now I want to give that point here. Note of a point here. What I am telling there. Java has defined extends keyword. Java has defined extends keyword in such a way to allow in such a way that to allow in such a way that to allow only one superclass name, only one superclass name, not to allow more than one superclass, not to allow more than one superclass. That's it. That is a definition of like what there extends a keyword. That's it, guys. Now this is one point here we can understand clearly. So finally, the point is like what there, why Java does not allow multiple inheritance. If you observe these points here, just I want to remove all of them. Now here I want to give a small note. What is that note here I'm telling there? In multiple inheritance, if we declare same variable with different values and the same method with different implementations at both the superclasses, right, sir? If we declare same variable with different values and same method with a different implementation at both the superclasses, and if we access that variable and method, if we access that variable and method in the respect to subclass, then compiler and JVM will get confusion that from which class, from which superclass, from compiler and JVM will get confusion that from which superclass the accessed variable, from which superclass the provided variable and methods are coming, are executed, are evaluated, are coming. So in the respective subclass, then compiler and JVM will get confusion that from which superclass the provided variable and methods are coming. So Java is a simple programming language. Java is a simple programming language. Thank you. Java is a simple programming language. It should not allow multiple inheritance. It should not allow multiple inheritance as part of Java. That's it. This is a point here. Then immediately I give a note also how Java has restricted multiple inheritance. If you observe this point here, Java has defined extends keyword in such a way that to allow only one superclass name, not to allow more than one superclass name in a subclass declaration. That's it. In a subclass declaration, only one superclass name is allowed, not to allow more than one superclass name. In this way, multiple inheritance was blocked inside the Java. Guys, all of you are following or not? No response. All right, fine. Now let's observe this clearly. Next one. Next point is like what there? Another point. I think so. 5 differences here we completed there. Then what about this sixth difference here? Observe carefully. Sixth difference. All of you guys understand this clearly. The sixth difference is like what now? Destructors are required in C++, but destructors are not required in Java. Destructors are required in C++, but destructors are not required in Java. That's it. This is a point here we have to understand. Destructors are required in C++, but destructors are not required in Java. Right. Right, sir. Now, before understanding destructors are required or not required in a C++ and Java, before that, first of all, what is destructor? First, we have to understand what is destructor, what is the purpose of the destructors. Yes, sir. All of you are getting it or not? What is destructor and what is the purpose of the destructors? Okay, fine. So keep that cups in the floor. That's it. Don't take it. Just keep that cups in the floor, or people will come. No, don't worry for it. Right. Let's come for this. Destructors are required in C++, but destructors are not required in Java. First of all, what is the meaning of destructor? What exactly the meaning of destructor? Now, before that, now answer for my question here. All of you guys, answer for my question. No? My question will be, what is an object-oriented programming language? Or when it is possible to say one programming language is an object-oriented programming language? When we are able to say one programming language is an object-oriented programming language? You know already, if any programming language allows its applications to represent data in the form of objects by following object-oriented features. If any programming language allows its applications to represent data in the form of objects by following object-oriented features, then that programming language is called as an object-oriented programming language. Am I right or not? Okay, that's the meaning of like what now? Object-oriented programming language. So now I'm telling you clearly, in object-oriented programming languages, data must be represented in the form of objects or not? In object-oriented programming languages, data must be represented in the form of objects. So if you want to represent data in the form of objects, if you want to store data in the form of objects, first we have to create objects or not? First we have to create objects or not? After that only we are able to store data inside the object. First we have to create objects. Then after that only we are able to store data inside the object. Got my point or not? So finally, what is the point here? I'm telling to you, observe carefully. In all object-oriented programming languages, we have to create objects. Then only we are able to store data inside the objects. Fine, completed. After that, at the end of the program, what we have to do? Whatever the objects we have created, at the end of the program, we have to destroy that objects or not? At the end of the program, we have to destroy that objects or not? Observe carefully. So finally, in all the object-oriented programming languages, we have to create the objects at a starting point of the program. At least at the end of the program, we have to destroy the objects. So creating objects and destroying objects, creating objects and destroying objects, both are two minimum operations in all the object-oriented programming languages. As we want to represent data in the form of objects, first we have to create objects. At the end of the program, we have to destroy the objects. Between these two, we are going to keep data, we are going to read data, we are going to update the data, we are going to delete the data inside the objects. Any operation we can do. But first we have to create the objects. At the end of the program, we have to destroy the objects. This is what exactly the point I'm telling you now. Okay, fine. In all the object-oriented programming languages, to create objects, in all the object-oriented programming languages, to create objects, we are going to use a separate feature. That feature is what their constructor. For creating objects, what feature here we are using there? No, constructors we are using for creating objects. In the same way, in all the object-oriented programming languages, to destroy the objects, we are going to use destructors. We are going to use which feature here? No, destructors feature here we are going to use to destroy the objects. Guys, all of you are getting my point or not? To create the objects, we are going to use constructor. To destroy the objects, we are using like what? They're destructors. Fine, very much clear. The point is very much clear. Try to understand it. Okay. Now, in a C++, developers are responsible for creating objects and destroying objects. Developers are responsible for both creating objects and destroying objects. For creating objects, developers must use constructors. For destroying objects, developers must use destructors. It's damn sure. Developers must use both. Developers are responsible for creating objects and destroying the objects. Clear cut information. But in the case of Java, developers are responsible for creating objects only. Developers are not responsible for destroying the objects. In the case of Java, developers are responsible for creating objects only, not for destroying the objects. Why, sir? Why only creating objects? Why not destroying the objects? What happened inside the Java? What facilities available inside the Java? So I'm giving the point here. In case of Java, for destroying the objects, Java has provided an internal tool, an internal component. One component was provided by Java to destroy the objects automatically. That internal tool will check which objects are unnecessary, which objects are necessary. It will not destroy necessary objects. The tool will destroy unnecessary objects. Whatever the unnecessary objects are available inside the Java, that tool, internal tool, will identify that unnecessary object, and the tool is going to destroy the objects. At least at the end of the program, it has to destroy all the objects. At the end of the program execution, it has to destroy all the objects, whatever the objects which are created inside the Java. So developer is not responsible for destroying the objects. Our internal tool is responsible for destroying the objects. The internal tool which we have used inside the Java to destroy the objects. The internal tool which we have used inside the Java to destroy the objects, that internal tool is called as garbage collector. That internal tool is called as what now? Garbage collector. So in C++, garbage collector is not available. That's why developers are destroying the objects explicitly by using destructors. So destructors are mandatory. But in the case of Java, developers are not required to use destructors and not required to destroy the objects. Why? Because garbage collector is available. It is taking care about the destruction of the objects. It is thinking how to destroy the objects. That internally garbage collector will destroy the objects where developers are not required to put any concentration. Understand, all of you know. Then by seeing all these things, which programming language is good? No. Definitely in the point of this memory management, Java is good or not? One simple example I'm telling that this is almost all equal to like what I'm telling to you. Observe carefully. I think in the demo class also I given this example. If you go to some hotel where self-service is available, right? We have taken some token and we given the token to the kitchen respective person there. Then they prepared food item and they given food item there. Then we went there and we have to take that food item. Will come to our desk or something else. Then where we have to take that food item. Definitely when we have taken that food item, when you eat food item, definitely some wastage will be created. Am I right or not? Some wastage will be created. So here two options are available. If the restaurant people are giving a board, giving a notice, if we create the garbage, if we create any wastage now, along with your plate, you should take the responsibility to move that wastage to the dustbin. That is case number one. Case number two, if you have any wastage now, don't take any responsibility to move that wastage to the dustbin. Our people will come to you, they will take care about the wastage. They will take care about the wastage moving to the dustbin. Our people will take the responsibility. You should not take any responsibility. Just eat the food, then go outside. That's it. Not to take any responsibility to move that wastage to the dustbin. Now, in the point of customers, which one is the best one? Which one is the better? Which one is the benefit now? The case 2 or case 1? Case 2. Definitely case 2. So case 1 is a C++, case 2 is a Java. Restaurant is nothing but programming language. Which restaurant is good in the sense? Case 2 restaurant is good. That case 2 restaurant is like Java. What Java is giving information? Create the objects as per our requirement. Any number of objects you can create. How many objects you want to create, you can create now. But don't take any responsibility to destroy that objects. I have an internal tool. I provided one internal tool. It will destroy that objects. So this is somewhat flexible to the developers. But in the case of C++, what the notice they are given there? If you are creating the objects, you should take the responsibility to destroy that objects. That is C++ there. So we are not feeling comfortable with C++. In this case, we are feeling comfortable with what there? Java. That's why Java programming language is having very good demand in outside. Java programming language is having very good demand in outside. That's it. So now let me have some 1 or 2 lines of data here about this so that we will complete this point here. Try to understand this point here. Right, sir. In all object-oriented programming languages, in all object-oriented programming languages, we have to represent data in the form of objects. Okay, to represent data in the form of objects, first we have to create objects, then we have to destroy objects at the end of the program, at the end of the program, or at the end of the program execution. Right, sir. In all the object oriented programming languages, to create objects we have to use constructors, and to destroy objects we have to use what their destructors. To create objects we have to use constructors, and to destroy objects what we have to use there? We have to use destructors. That's okay, fine. Directly I want to give information in the case of C++. What is the case in the case of the C++? No, observe carefully. In C++, developers must take the responsibility. Developers must take the responsibility. Developers must take the responsibility to create objects and to destroy objects. To create objects and to destroy objects by using constructors and destructors respectively. All right, sir. And then this is mandatory in the case of Java. Due to the above reason, destructors must be required in C++. Now come to the conclusion. What is that conclusion here? We have to specify there. In the case of Java, what is going to be happen? No, try to understand this clearly. In Java, developers are responsible to create objects, not responsible to destroy objects. Then here itself I am telling there why, because in Java, to destroy an object, Java has provided an internal tool in the form of what there? Garbage collector. That's it. Due to the availability of this garbage collector, not required to destroy the objects. That's the overall story. But I have one more question. What about my question here? Listen carefully. What about my question? No, all of you observe carefully. My question is, in Java, garbage collector is available to destroy the objects. Automatically, garbage collector will destroy the objects without the developer's interference. Without the developer involvement, garbage collector will destroy the objects. So nice. The concept is very good. But here my question is it possible for me to direct a garbage collector in order to destroy the objects? Means that what I am asking there, when I want to destroy the objects, is it possible for me to destroy the objects through garbage collector only, not by in my own way, through the garbage collector only? Is it possible to destroy the objects right away on that moment when I require? Exactly. Now immediately I want to destroy one object. I don't want to wait up to the end of the program. Until the end of the program, I don't want to wait. Right away, immediately, I want to destroy the objects. Is it possible for me in Java? Right. If we come for this point, answer is very clear. Yes, it is possible. Yes, it is possible. We can talk with the garbage collector. We can direct the garbage collector to destroy the objects right away. Just give an intimation to the garbage collector. Now an object is available. I don't require this object. Immediately, I want to destroy the objects. So there is a possibility to submit that request to the garbage collector. Whether garbage collector will listen that or not is a secondary. But we can submit that request to the garbage collector. Then max cases garbage collector will destroy that object immediately. If developer is asking to the garbage collector about to destroy particular object, garbage collector is ready to do that. If developer is not sending any request to the garbage collector, there also garbage collector will destroy the objects at least at the end of the program. All of you get my point or not? If you send request to the garbage collector, right away, immediately destroy this particular object, yes, garbage collector is ready to destroy that object. Even if we are not sending that request to the garbage collector, but garbage collector may destroy that object maybe after a few minutes of time or maybe at least at the end of the program. So definitely garbage collector can listen our word. All of you get my point or not? It may be immediately or maybe take some time in the sense, depends on the garbage collector, but it will listen our word, it able to follow our instructions. So where developer, as per the developer's requirement, developers can destroy the objects through the garbage collector. That is also be possible in Java. That is a flexibility of Java. Right, sir. Now this is a simple scenario, simple understanding about destruction of the objects in Java. That's okay, guys. Now this is one point here we can understand. The next one, apart from this, another topic is like what there. All of you understand this clearly. C and C++ are following call by value and call by reference parameter passing mechanism. C and C++ are following call by value and call by reference parameter passing mechanism. But Java is following only call by value parameter passing mechanism. That's it. This is another point. Seventh difference here we can understand. C and C++ are following call by value and call by reference parameter passing mechanism, but Java is following only call by value parameter passing mechanism. Right, sir. Now all of you observe carefully. Understand this point now. Before understanding whether C, C++, Java are following or not following call by value, call by reference. But first of all, what is call by value and what is call by reference? First, let us understand this at a basic level. After that, we will understand why call by reference is not possible in Java, why call by value is possible in the case of C++ and C, that we are going to understand clearly. Let's see first of all now, what is call by value and what is call by reference. Listen, all of you listen carefully. In all the programming languages, maybe C, C++, Java, whatever it may be, in all programming languages, if we pass primitive data, what are these primitive data, guys? Byte, short, int, long, float, double, then what next one get? Double, boolean, and what next one get? Char. This data is what now? Primitive data. This type of data is a primitive data. In all programming languages, if we pass primitive data as parameters to the methods or functions, methods or functions, both are same now. So if we pass primitive data as parameters to the methods, then the parameter passing mechanism is called by value. In all programming languages, no confusion about call by value in all programming languages. Yes, all of you get my point here? Right. Next one is after that, after completion of this particular one, another point I'm telling there, in all programming languages, any programming language, in any programming language or in all programming languages, if we pass, observe carefully, if we pass address locations as a parameters to the methods, what we are passing there, if we pass address locations as parameters to the methods, then the parameter passing mechanism is called by reference. Observe carefully, what is this actually? It would be a call by reference. When we pass address locations as parameter to the methods, then the parameter passing mechanism is called by reference. When we pass primitive data as a parameters to the methods, then the parameter passing mechanism is what? Call by value. All of you are getting my point or not? That's okay, fine. Observe carefully now. In a C and C++, in C and C++, if we pass pointer variables as parameters to the methods, in C and C++, if we pass pointer variables as parameter to the methods, then the parameter passing mechanism is what? Parameter passing mechanism is what? Call by value or call by reference? Come on, call by value or call by reference? Call by reference. Why? Because what is the reason for it? No, in C and C++. Now tell me, in C and C++, pointer variables are representing what? Are representing address locations directly. Passing pointer variables in the sense passing address locations only. Passing pointer variables in the sense passing address locations only. So because of that reason, that parameter passing mechanism is what they're called by reference. In the case of which programming language? No, in the case of C and C++. But now understand this point here. You know already in Java, reference variable, not pointer variable. Reference variable is different from pointer variables or not? Both are not same. Reference variable is a variable which stores reference value of the object. Reference value of the object is what there? Hexadecimal form of hash code. Hash code is what there? Hash code is an unique identity, is an integer value provided by heap manager as an unique identity to each and every object. So hash code is not address location. Reference value is not address location. So reference variables are not storing any address location. So if we pass reference variable as a parameter to the methods, then the parameter passing mechanism is a call by value. Right, all of you observe carefully. In Java, even if we pass reference variable as a parameter to the methods, reference variable as parameter to the methods, then the parameter passing mechanism is what? Is a call by value only, not a call by reference. Call by reference. Why, sir? Why? Because what is the reason for it? No, in Java, reference variables are not representing address locations. That's the point here. But what it is representing actually in Java, reference variables are representing reference value of the object. Reference value is what there? Reference value is hexadecimal form of hash code. Hash code is an integer value, is an unique identity provided by heap manager. Already we know that point here. Or else I can write that information here. In Java, reference variables are able to store object reference values, where object reference value is a hexa, is what there? Hexadecimal form of hash code. Where what is this hash code actually? Where hash code is an unique identity, for all the objects, for each and every object, unique identity for each and every object, hash code is an unique identity for each and every object provided by heap manager in the form of an integer value. That's it, not more than this. Now this is what exactly the meaning of like what now? Call by value and call by reference, which are not existed in the case of call by reference is not possible in the case of Java, but call by reference is possible in the case of C and C++. But Java still follows call by value only. Why? Because even though if you pass reference variable as parameter to the methods, then the parameter passing mechanism is call by value only, not a call by reference. Yes, all of you are getting my points or not? Right, sir. Then after completion of this, that eighth difference here, what I am telling to you, eighth one here, operator overloading is not possible in Java. Operator overloading is not possible in Java. Okay. Right, sir. Don't worry. Then can I discuss this topic on tomorrow? Why? Because it may take some time here. The time may not be sufficient for it. Just 5 minutes before I'm leaving this class now. Then tomorrow I will discuss about this point, and tomorrow we'll complete this. And one more difference, ninth difference here. Then by that we are able to complete the total differences between like Java and others. Then immediately I will start Java features. Java features topic I'll start there within 1 or 2 days after it will be completed. Then after Java programming format. Max by this Sunday, coming Sunday, I may conduct one written test on the base of the topics. Almost all we are going to complete introduction part there. Then where I'm going to conduct one written test. Without failure, everybody must attend for the written test. Not only written test. After completion of 3 topics, up to language fundamentals, I will take one mock interview for everybody. So everybody has to appear for that exam and as well as for mock interviews. So this is because of you only, not because of any time pass. Everybody must participate in that. Your participation is important. By these examples, you can check. By these exams and mock interviews, you can check where you are and what you are, how much knowledge you gain after joining with Durgasoft. Whether you are in right track or not. Definitely, you can check this. Don't skip it. See, if you are not giving any answers for any question, it's not a crime. Just it is a suggestion or it may be an alert message to you. Okay, you are not aware about this answer in this question. Please try to check it for the next time. Just it is an intimation, that's it. So in that way, we have to think and try to appear for that exams and mock interviews. Definitely, I'm planning for this mock interviews and all. So better do come for that particular occasions. Okay, right, sir. Maybe written test for online people and as well as for offline people, for both. I'll conduct the test. I will give the schedule clearly when it is going to be happen. Max probably on next Sunday. Next Sunday in our timing only, in our class timing only, it's going to be conducted. Maybe 30 questions, 30 minutes. Just only attend for exam and you may leave from the class by the day, on the day. I will share that key also at the end of the program, at the end of the results, at the end of the exam. I'll give that key also. I'll display that key maybe on the notice board. Not even that, maybe after the next day. After the exam, next day I will display that key. Or maybe if it is possible, then I will display that key maybe by the end of the exam. Everything is ready, but your participation is important. Yeah, multiple options questions only, not any descriptive questions. Multiple options. For every question, 4 or 5 or 6 number of options are available from where we have to select the right answers. Okay, then don't miss that exams. Everybody has to appear for that exam. Right, yes, that's all for today. And tomorrow we'll continue. Tomorrow we'll see the remaining content. And Wednesday maybe the holiday. Wednesday is a holiday. It was clear. Confirmed it. And maybe next Thursday onwards we are going to continue the class. But tomorrow we have session. Tomorrow is a Tuesday, right? Tomorrow we have session, and without failure try to attend for this session on tomorrow. Once again, I'm telling to you, classes are your primary. Videos are not primary. Videos are secondary. They are up to your backup. If you want to miss the classes, if you want to depending on only videos, no, I'll stop to provide videos. Sure. So you must come for the classes. Classes are more important. Instead of watching video, if you come for the class, you will understand more reachability and more content you are able to get, more understanding is available. But if you watch video, lesser amount of knowledge you are able to get. You will not have concentration. If you are sitting in front of me, definitely will concentrate and you will listen the content. But if you are at your home, if you watch the video with this much of concentration, you will not understand the content, I'm sure. So better do attend for the live classes, either offline or online, whatever it may be, attend for the live classes. That will provide more knowledge for you. Right, guys. That's all for today. Thank you. And tomorrow we'll see the remaining content. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot.